When I was 275 pounds, I wanted to lose weight really badly. So I would start a diet and I would do really well at first. But then I would get so fixated on getting results that I would end up getting caught in what I'm gonna call these weight loss traps. Then I would get overwhelmed, sabotage myself, give up, and it would mess up all of my progress. So I want to share the 3 ways that I ruined my diet that caused me to keep gaining my weight back over and over again. And then I'm going to share how I fixed it and was able to lose 130 pounds and keep it off for 9 years. Yeah. Number 1, I started to weigh myself way too much. The scale can be a helpful tool in tracking your weight loss progress, but what was happening to me was I started to become obsessed with the numbers and I began to weigh myself obsessively every hour. 1, that's not healthy. 2, what was happening is, obviously, doing it every hour, I was getting on the scale all different times throughout the day, not accounting for the fact that your weight will fluctuate depending on what you're eating. If you ate right before you weighed yourself, what kind of food? Was it food that was high in sodium? How much liquid did I drink before I weighed myself? Hormone problems. I have PCOS. Are my hormones off? That also will affect the weight on the scale. So what would happen is, because I would get on so much at different times, not account for those fluctuations, the number would be stubborn, wouldn't move. I'd get really frustrated and break down and then go eat whatever I wanted. Then I'd feel really guilty. It would trigger my emotional eating and all heck would break loose. I'd eat anything and everything and then throw my diet out the window and I would gain everything back that I lost and usually more. The thing is, why I was extra frustrated and it would totally throw me off, and this happened to Kyle too, my husband, he's lost the same amount of weight and went through the same struggles. We'd be following our diet perfectly, be eating in a calorie deficit, doing everything right, but getting on the scale all the time obsessively, the number wouldn't move and it would be frustrating because you assume that the scale, the number is always supposed to go down. But when you're weighing yourself so frequently all the time, you're not focusing on the consistency of your diet. That's the key. You focus on the consistency of your diet and weigh yourself with time in between so that your body can adjust to what it's doing. All that weighing was getting me nowhere but frustrated. Then I would eat more and then gain the weight. The scale can be a really good tool, but I had to find a balance with it. I decided to weigh myself once a week because that gave me time to focus on being consistent with my diet, and I chose portion control to help me eat less so that I could get in a calorie deficit and lose the weight. And I combined it with 15 minutes of walking every day, and I gradually increased the walking over time, like as I got more fit, but mostly I focused on my diet. Weighing myself once a week gave myself time to be consistent and time between the weigh-ins so that your body doesn't like to change. So it does need time to adjust. And if you're constantly weighing it, it's not gonna go down like that. That's not how it works. The scale does go down, but sometimes it'll go a little up, then a little down, slowly sometimes fast. I would do it first thing in the morning, once a week when I woke up, right before I ate or drank anything, after I went to the bathroom. This might be too much TMI, but that also affects the scale. Kyle and I lost 50 pounds in 3 months right away. And because we had so much weight to lose and we were really consistent with eating in portion, and then it slowed down to 1 to 2 pounds a week. We did hit a plateau and had to, pull back a little bit on the portions and try again. So those things are normal. Just try not to get obsessed with the number. And when we started focusing on being consistent with the diet over the end goal, because focusing on losing so much weight really put a lot of pressure on us. Instead of just going, okay, we want to lose the weight, we're going to focus on consistency with our diet, that actually worked. Okay, let's drop 100 pounds, too much pressure then on the number and on needing the scale to go down every week. And it just was overwhelming, and then we would fall off track. Find a amount of times to weigh yourself that's practical for you. Once a week was practical for us. And if you want to know the exact portions and meals that I ate to lose the weight, you can buy my weight loss ebook called The First 50. The link's down below, and code Nicole will save you 10% off. And if you're looking for good protein, because protein lowers your hunger hormone ghrelin and helps you feel fuller longer, this is HTLT Subs, and it's their new chocolate peanut butter flavor. It is so good. Love mixing it in protein ice cream, oats, yogurt. Code Nicole will save you 15% off, and the link is down below for that. Number 2, I needed to eat different things every single day, and I made my meal preps very long and complicated. I also was trying to introduce a lot of new food every day into my meal plan, which it can be really fun at first, but then it became overwhelming and really hard to sustain. And I realized that simple was better. And yes, in the beginning, like when I was doing portion control, I did need some variety. So Kyle and I started having staple portion control meals that we could interchange, so that we had several staple meals and we would change back and forth between them so that it felt like we were having variety and not getting bored, but they were still staple, very easy, not complicated to make, and easy to sustain. And we also had staple foods, like I always show you guys, like the Greek yogurt and the cottage cheese, those kinds of things that are versatile. Have them on hand at all times. They can be made into anything tasty, so it's very easy to make a quick, tasty meal if you're feeling bored. And now I do count calories, but I eat 1,700 calories. But what I learned is I needed a lot more variety, like on my journey, but after keeping the weight off for so long, we're learning that simpler is better. So most of the time we have a diet that we really love that we stick to within our calories. So we pretty much eat the same meals every single day for simplicity. We know exactly what to buy at the grocery store, exactly the meals to make, exactly the calories that they are, and it makes it very easy to sustain, and that's why we've been able to keep the weight off for so long. But we do sometimes need variety, and we'll switch it up, and then we'll do a full day of eating and show you guys like the different meals that we eat. Calculating calories or figuring out a portion control meal plan, it takes a long time to do, which is why you don't want to do it every single day. I don't want to figure out a new 1,700 calorie meal plan every single day. I found one that works and I stick to it most of the time because I can do that every day. And it works. When you find something that works, you want to stick to it. You find staple meals that you love and a meal plan that you like, and you want to stick to it. If it's helping you lose weight, or for us, helped us lose the weight and then keep it off, we want to keep doing that because it obviously works. When it doesn't, you change it up a bit and then do that until it doesn't work anymore. But you don't want to have to constantly be calculating stuff all the time. It's possible, but it's not sustainable. Number 3, I wasn't being honest with my food tracking. I learned that tracking food was actually very helpful on my weight loss journey. And I started to do it. I tracked everything that I was eating, but then because the other things that I were doing wasn't sustainable, I would start to slip in my diet. I'd overscoop my peanut butter. I would start eating things that weren't included in my meal plan. And because I felt bad about it, I wouldn't write it down. I would only write the meals that were on my meal plan. And then I would wonder why I wasn't getting results. Then I would feel guilty, it would trigger my emotional eating, all heck would break loose, and I wouldn't write that down either. So I was tracking, but I wasn't being honest, and so I was gaining weight and not understanding why, because on paper, it looked like I was following my meal plan. And there was a point where I went and I got a personal trainer. It was a 6-week plan. I also got a diet plan with that and a book for tracking that had recipes and a diet. I didn't really like what was on the diet and it was pretty restrictive. So I would fill it out according to the way I was supposed to, but I would be really hungry. So I would end up eating and going off plan, but I would only show my trainer my plan. And so at the end of the 6 weeks, I didn't lose weight. And he said, well, it's probably because you were building muscle and put muscle on from the training plan. Well, no, it was because I wasn't being honest with your trainer and I was lying about what I was eating.
And so this behavior is not just what me and Nicole did. It's rampant on social media. because everyone feels so judged nowadays, they want to present this perfect picture, so they don't show you they're drinking all weekend.
Yes.
They don't show you when they go to Dairy Queen. They present organic veggies and fruit and grass-fed beef, and that's all they show you. Then it allows the person, if they're wanting to hide, to play the victim because they're not losing weight and they said they were on a weight loss journey, but they're not telling you the whole story.
Exactly. And that's cool if you want to come off as having this perfect diet and looking like the perfect put together person. That's great. But if you're looking to lose weight and you're not honestly tracking everything that goes into your mouth, including your slip ups, you're doing a disservice to yourself, and you're not going to figure out why you're going off your diet. So when I started tracking honestly, one day I was making a birthday cake for a family member, and there were some extra cookies left over that I was topping the cake with. I ended up eating all of the cookies while I was making the cake. I went back and looked at my tracking, like, why did this happen? And because I tracked, I realized I had been planning to eat lots of treats and have like a birthday party celebration with this family member. So not realizing I was restricting my calories a few days ahead of time and on that day, which made me very hungry. When I was making the cake, I wanted one cookie. I said no to myself that I needed to wait until we ate the cake. All of that combined, me being hungry, the restricting, the not letting myself have one cookie, all heck broke loose, and that's why I went off track. Because I was being honest with myself, I was able to see why and correct it. So now I make sure that I eat my normal diet. I build in, oh, I'm gonna be baking a cake. Okay, I'm probably gonna wanna try a little bit, so I'll build in some extra room here so that I can have it. And that is why you track and be honest with yourself, so that you can see where things are going right and you can see where things are going wrong. You can hold yourself accountable and figure it out. Weight loss should never be a punishment. Just find things that you like, switch between a couple of meals that are easy for you to sustain, that you enjoy, focus on the diet, being in a calorie deficit, and track it somehow. I like pen and paper, sometimes an app. You can do whatever you want. Focusing on consistency, that's the key, and liking what you're doing so that it's not overwhelming and you can actually do it for a long period of time. And when you get the weight off, it's not gonna come back on because what you're doing is sustainable and you like it. The friends, I hope that this helped you guys. Anybody struggling, Kyle and I have been through it. This is why we do the channel. We love you. You got this. Watch this vid and this vid for more fun, sustainable weight loss tips, because Sass and I really are real friends losing weight in the real world. Love you. Love your food. We do. Every day we're going this. Woohoo, we like it's food. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next vid, Judy. Piece it. Tonight I'm going bowling, Sassy. I'm gonna get this ball. Okay. Let's get in. Ready?
Aren't you left-handed?
Yeah, but I do all my sports with my right hand.
You bowl with your right hand.
And I swing that too with my right feet.
My mind is being blown right now.
Oh, it's weird with this one.
I've only known you for 20 years.
Yeah. Silly goose. That was a good bowl, wasn't it?
Yeah, you got a strike.
Yeah, 10 pins. I like 10 pins. 5 pins is weird. It's that leaky ball. I like that big one.
You like big balls. On that note, see you later.
Bye. Remember, the friends, that weight loss isn't just about the number on the scale. It's also about here and here. Heart and mindset. Fight through it.